Lawyers, has the opposing counsel ever won the case for you? I was representing this kid named Marcus in a personal injury case. He was 19, worked at a warehouse, and got hurt when a forklift driver wasn't paying attention. Crushed his leg pretty bad, needed 3 surgeries, couldn't work for 8 months. The company hired this hotshot lawyer from downtown. Designer suits, fancy briefcase, the whole deal. His name was Richard Blackwell, and he had this reputation for destroying plaintiffs in court. Made people look like liars and fraudsters. My client was nervous as hell. Marcus came from a poor family, never finished high school, and talked with this thick accent that made him sound uneducated. I coached him for weeks on how to answer questions simply and clearly. The day of the deposition, Blackwell showed up with 2 assistants and a stack of papers 3 inches thick. He started questioning Marcus like he was interrogating a serial killer. "Mr. Garcia, isn't it true you were drinking the night before this alleged accident?" Marcus said no, he doesn't drink alcohol because his dad was an alcoholic. "But you do use marijuana recreationally, correct?" Again, Marcus said no. He'd never touched drugs in his life because he'd seen what they did to his neighborhood. This went on for 2 hours. Blackwell kept trying to make Marcus look like some kind of druggie or troublemaker. Asked about his tattoos, his friends, even his girlfriend's job at a strip club. But Marcus stayed calm and honest. Just kept saying, "No, sir, that's not true, sir. I would never do that, sir." The kid had more class than the lawyer questioning him. Then Blackwell made his big move. He pulled out these photographs and slammed them on the table like he'd caught Marcus in some huge lie. "These photos were taken the weekend after your accident, Mr. Garcia. You're clearly shown dancing at a nightclub, jumping around using your supposedly injured leg without any problems whatsoever." Marcus looked at the photos for a long time. I was panicking inside because this could destroy our entire case. If he was out partying right after getting hurt, the jury would think he was faking. But then Marcus started laughing. Not nervous laughing, just genuine amusement. "Sir, that's not me in those pictures." Blackwell got this smug look on his face. "Really? Because our investigator positively identified you." "No, sir. That's my twin brother Miguel. We look exactly the same, but he's left-handed and I'm right-handed. Also, he's got a scar on his forehead from when we were kids. You can see it in your picture if you look close." The room went dead silent. Blackwell grabbed the photos and stared at them through his reading glasses. You could actually see the scar once you knew to look for it, but here's where it got really bad for Blackwell. He doubled down instead of backing off. "That's convenient. Your alleged twin brother just happens to look identical to you and was coincidentally at a nightclub the same weekend." Marcus pulled out his phone and showed us his Instagram. Dozens of pictures of him and Miguel together at family parties, graduations, birthdays. They were clearly twins and clearly different people. "We've been twins our whole lives, sir. Pretty hard to fake that." Then Marcus did something that buried Blackwell completely. He called Miguel right there in the conference room and put him on speaker. "Miguel, can you tell these people where you were last Saturday night?" "I was at Club Fever downtown with my girlfriend Rosa." "Why, what's wrong?" Blackwell's face turned bright red. He'd spent thousands of dollars having my client followed and photographed, built his entire defense around proving Marcus was faking his injuries, and had the wrong guy the whole time. But instead of admitting his mistake, Blackwell kept pushing. He demanded Miguel come to the deposition immediately to prove he wasn't just some actor Marcus hired. Miguel showed up 20 minutes later. Same face as Marcus, but completely different personality. Miguel was loud, confident, wore flashy clothes. Marcus was quiet, polite, wore simple work shirts. The 2 brothers stood next to each other, and it was obvious they were twins, but also obvious they were completely different people. Blackwell spent another hour questioning Miguel, trying to prove this was all some elaborate scam. But Miguel had receipts from the club, witnesses, even a parking ticket from that night. After the deposition, I didn't even have to argue our case anymore. The company's insurance company called me the next day and offered to settle for 3 times what we'd originally asked for. They fired Blackwell immediately. Turns out he'd made similar mistakes in other cases, always assuming the worst about working-class clients and never doing proper investigation. Marcus got enough money to pay for college and start his own business. He sent me a graduation photo 2 years later with a note that said, "Thanks for believing me when the fancy lawyer didn't."